Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, March 30th, 2023. Today we're going to recap yesterday's NBA and NHL games, look ahead to tonight's games in each sport. Major League Baseball opening day. We'll go over the slate and give out some picks. The NIT final is tonight. We'll make a pick for that. We have soccer. We have golf. Power rankings for the baseball season. News and notes and best bet. We'll start the NBA. Last night was a heavy window. We'll go over it and then we'll look ahead to tonight, which is a short window. I think they wanted to give the nods to the baseball here because there's only two games. Bucks over the Pacers, 149 to 136. Nets over the Rockets, 123 to 114. Knicks over the Heat, 101-92. Sixers over the Mavs, 116-108. Lakers over the Bulls, 121-110. Clippers over the Grizzlies, 141-132. Thunder over the Pistons, 107-106. Jazz over the Spurs, 128-117. Kings over the Blazers, 120 to 80. And the Suns over the Timberwolves, 107-100. Like I said, only two games tonight, TNT doubleheader. Like I said, I think they did this knowing that today was Major League Baseball opening day. 7:30 TNT Celtics Bucks. Great game though, which is going to be going up against White Sox Astros in ratings. Calling this game will probably be Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller, you would think, because this is the lead game. I have Bucks 4.5 total 230, and FanDuel has it. Let's see, 2.5 and 236.5. I'll take the under. That's a high total. 10 o'clock TNT Pelicans Nuggets, and this game will probably be Brian Anderson and Stan Van Gundy. I have Nuggets 13 and 3/4, total 228 and 320. It's at 6.5 and 227. I'm laying the 6.5 with Denver. I think this is a good spot for them to roll a little bit. No Zion still for New Orleans, so I like Denver minus the 6.5 at home. NHL, we'll go over the slate from yesterday. It was only a couple of games, and then I think today's a bigger slate. We'll see. Panthers over the Leafs 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Sam Reinhart. Or I'm sorry, it was Brandon Montour. Reinhart tied it with 1 minute left in regulation. So that felt like a playoff Leafs loss right there. Isles over the Caps 2-1 a shootout, and the Wild over the Avalanche 4-2 to take the Central Division by the Thor there. So tonight has actually a large window. 7 o'clock, you have the Rangers at the Devils. Huge game. Could determine the Metro Division. Home court advantage if these two teams face off. This could be a round one preview. Jersey's favorite at home at minus 138. New York's plus 115. Over under 6.5. Over's plus 102. Under's minus 124. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 10. Devils minus 1.5 is plus 172. Yours truly has the Rangers to win the Metro Division. So I probably would bet New Jersey with a couple of baseball favorites that are kind of like confident locks against teams that are tanking like Oakland and the Nats. And then I'd throw the Denver Nuggets in there too against the Pelicans without Zion. But for the podcast as a pick, I'm going to give out the Rangers at plus 115 because I think the Rangers are playing well right now, and it's a rivalry game. There's going to be a lot of Ranger fans there. But I would bet the Rangers, but what I'm probably going to do is bet on New Jersey to hedge the Rangers to win the Metro Division future I have. But for you guys, it's Rangers money line plus 115. Blue Jackets Bruins. Bruins minus 480. Columbus plus 360. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Columbus plus 1.5 is plus 150. Bruins minus 1.5 is minus 182. I like the under in that game. I think that Ullmark bounces, or not really bounces back. They lost only 2-0 or 2-1 the other night. But Ullmark plays well. I could see this being 4-0 Bruins. Panthers Habs. Panthers minus 215. Habs plus 176. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 134. Unders plus 110. Panthers minus 1.5 is plus 110. Habs plus 1.5 is minus 132. For this one, I'm going to go with under 2.5. Montreal total goals at plus 108. Flyers Sens. Sens minus 160. Flyers plus 132. Over under 6.5. Minus 1 each way. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 182. Sens minus 1.5 is plus 150. I like the over. Claude Giroux against his former team. So I wonder what the odds are for him to score a goal. What are the goal scorers? Because I would bet on I would really bet on Giroux to score against the Flyers. Preds Pens. I didn't realize these two teams have the same number of points, but Pittsburgh's minus 205 at home. Preds plus 168 over under 6.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Preds plus 1.5 is minus 144. Pittsburgh minus 1.5 is plus 120. These two teams have the same number of points because the East is so much more top heavy than the West. The West is just deep. And we kind of know who's going to make the playoffs out of the West, but the East is so top heavy with Boston and Carolina and the Rangers. So, Pittsburgh's point total is, if they're in the West, that's a lottery team. But anyway, I like over 6.5 at minus 104. Caps Lightning. Lightning minus 205. Caps plus 168. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 104. Unders minus 128. Caps plus 1.5 is minus 142. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 118. I like the over in that one too. 7:30 ESPN Plus Hockey Night in Hulu. Canes Red Wings. Canes minus 220, Red Wings plus 180, over under 6.5, overs plus 106, unders minus 130. Canes minus 1.5 is plus 114, Red Wings plus 1.5 is minus 137. I like the over. 8:30 Blues Blackhawks. Blues minus 156, Chicago plus 130, over under 6.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Blues minus 1.5 is plus 152, Chicago plus 1.5 is minus 184. I'm going with the over at even money. 9 o'clock, Kings, Oilers. Oilers minus 164, Kings plus 136, over under 6.5, overs minus 168, unders plus 136. Kings plus 1.5 is minus 162, Oilers minus 1.5 is plus 132. I'm going with LA, money line. That's my underdog pick of the night, plus 136. 10 o'clock, Ducks, Kraken. That's ESPN Plus and Hulu as well. Kraken minus 350, Ducks plus 270, over under 6.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Ducks plus 1.5 is plus 120. Kraken minus 1.5 is minus 144. I like the over there too. And then last but not least, 10:30, Golden Knights, Sharks. Vegas minus 170, Sharks plus 140, over under 6.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Vegas minus 1.5 is plus 136, Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 164. Tough one. But I'm going to go with Vegas in regulation at minus 115. All right, Major League Baseball opening day. Here we are. Very excited. 15 games. Everybody's playing. This is exciting. New season, new rules. This is going to be fun. All right, 1 o'clock. Giants-Yankees from the Bronx. Logan Webb and Garrett Cole. The Yankees are minus 188. San Francisco's plus 158, over under 6.5. Overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Giants plus 1.5 is minus 146. Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 122. ESPN Analytics has the Giants at 46.7% chance to win the game. So plus 158 would be valuable, but I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. The Yankees are not losing their opening day at home to a weak Giants offense. Under 6.5 at minus 104 is a good one. But I want to see Yankees runs. Is there like a runs? Total runs? Yes. Yankees over 3.5 runs is minus 120. Giants under runs is a good one. Under 2.5 at minus 106. First half total runs. Ooh. So, I'm going to go under 6.5 at minus 104. I don't love it, but I could see, like, the Yankees winning 4-2 or something like that. And then the last run comes, like, in the 8th inning and like a insurance home run by, like, I don't know, Giancarlo Stanton, because he's the king of those. Braves Nationals. Max Fried and Patrick Corbin. Braves minus 255. Nats plus 210 over under 7.5. Minus 110 each way. Braves minus 1.5 is minus 142. Nats plus 1.5 is plus 118 over. Automatic over for Patrick Corbin. Braves are going to do that alone. 2 o'clock from Fenway. Orioles Red Sox. Kyle Gibson and Corey Kluber. Red Sox minus 122. Orioles plus 104 over under 8.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Orioles minus 1.5 is plus 158. Red Sox plus 1.5 is minus 92. I like the Orioles to win straight up plus 104. Even though ESPN Analytics says 38.6%. 220 from Wrigley. Brewers Cubs. Corbin Burns and Marcus Stroman. Brewers minus 142. Cubs plus 120 over under 7. Overs plus 104. Unders minus 128. Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 126. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 152. I like Brewers over 3.5 runs at minus 114. 3 o'clock, Tigers Rays from the Trop. Eduardo Rodriguez and Shane McClanahan. Rays minus 250, Tigers plus 205 over under 7, overs plus 104, unders minus 128. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 113, Rays minus 1.5 is minus 106. The Tigers on the run line isn't a bad pick. But I don't want to go there. I like the total runs. I'm going to go over 4 runs for the Rays, minus 110. I love the runs over. I'm definitely betting on the Braves over runs. That's for sure. I should have been the pick there, but oh well. 4 o'clock, you have on ESPN Plus the Phillies and the Rangers. Aaron Nola and Jacob deGrom. Texas minus 134, Philly plus 116 over under 6.5, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Philly plus 1.5 is minus 215, Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 176. I like the under there too. I could see that being like a 3-2 game. Pirates Reds from Cincinnati, Mitch Keller and Hunter Green. Cincinnati's minus 136, Pittsburgh's plus 116 over under 8, minus 110 each way. Pittsburgh plus 1.5 is minus 184. Cincinnati minus 1.5 is plus 150. For this one, on Pirates under 3.5 runs at minus 106. This is my new favorite toy, the over-under in runs. Blue Jays Cardinals from St. Louis. Alek Manoah, Miles Mikolas. This is probably the best matchup so far. 2 possible division winners here. 2 playoff teams from last year as well. Toronto minus 110, St. Louis minus 106, over under 7.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Toronto minus 1.5 is plus 155, St. Louis plus 1.5 is minus 188. I like Toronto as a slight road favorite, minus 110. I just like Alek Manoah. That's my Cy Young this year. 7 o'clock, ESPN, White Sox Astros. Astros are going to get their rings tonight. It's Dylan Cease and Framber Valdez. Great pitching matchup. Astros minus 142. White Sox plus 120. Over under 7.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Chicago plus 1.5 is minus 184. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 152. For this one, I'm going to go White Sox. This is a bold one. White Sox under 3 runs plus 106. 9:40, Rockies Padres from San Diego. Herman Marquez, Blake Snell. Padres minus 220, Rockies plus 184, over under 7, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 126, Padres minus 1.5 is plus 105. Padres run line minus 1.5 is plus 105. 10 o'clock, Angels A's, Shohei Ohtani and Kyle Muller. Angels minus 235, A's plus 194, over under 7, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Angels minus 1.5 is minus 120, Oakland plus 1.5 is even money. I'm going to go under Oakland total runs 2.5, minus 104. Dodgers hosting the Diamondbacks, Zach Gallen and Julio Urias. Dodgers minus 178, D-backs plus 150, over under 7.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 152, Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 126. I'm going to go under 3 Diamondbacks runs, minus 108. Don't feel good about that one. And Guardians Mariners, Shane Bieber and Luis Castillo. You know what? This might be the best series. It's either this or the Cards Jays series. Giants Yankees is okay. I mean, it would have been better 2 years ago, or even if it started the season last year. But in the running for best series of opening weekend, this Mariners Guardians series or the Cards Blue Jays series. All right, Mariners minus 122, Guardians plus 104, over under 6.5, minus 110 each way. Guardians plus 1.5 is minus 225. Mariners minus 1.5 is plus 184. This is a hard one, but I'm going to go with the Guardians to win outright, plus 104, with Shane Bieber on the bump. All right, the NIT championship is tonight at, I believe it's at 9 or 8. 9:30 on ESPN2 from Orleans Arena in Vegas. All right, so you have UAB against North Texas, so it's an all-conference USA game. I project North Texas by 3/4 total 135 and 19/20. And we have here UAB by 2.5 total 128.5. I like the over. Higher scoring game than people will expect. So I'm going to go over 128.5 for that one. All right, now I'm going to move on to soccer. We'll go over any interesting results from yesterday and look ahead to today's soccer. UEFA Women's, Barcelona over Roma 5-1 as Barcelona advances 6-1 on aggregate. And Arsenal over Bayern 2-0 and Arsenal advances 2-1 on aggregate. All right, today 2 games, 12:45, you have Wolfsburg and PSG. Wolfsburg minus 155, PSG plus 350, draw plus 290. PSG's been hot. I'm going to take them at plus 190. And Wolfsburg leads 1-0 on aggregate. And at 3 o'clock, you have Chelsea and Lyon. Whoo, that's a good one, too. Chelsea plus 120, Lyon plus 190, draw plus 250. Both these teams have been on fire. I'm going to go with the home favorite in Chelsea at plus 120. I'm just going to double check to see if there's any other scores that we have to touch on from yesterday. All right, Africa Cup of Nations qualified. Rwanda and Benin 1-1 draw. Mexican Liga, Querétaro and Cruz Azul 2-2 draw. And that's it among notable soccer. So A lot of it will be back tomorrow. We have MLS. English Premier League's back over the weekend. So is Italian Serie A. And the reason why is because we had a lot of the international stuff going on, the qualifying. So that's why the big international leagues took a little bit of a break. And MLS just kept going with their typical Saturdays, which kind of screwing over some teams in MLS too. But we'll get into more soccer tomorrow. All right, golf. We'll go over the current early leaderboard for the Valero Championship. For the Valero Texas Open, your early leader with the score of 2 under. It's play is suspended right now. Scott Piercy. Second with 1 under is Henrik Norlander. Tied for third at even, Ryan Palmer, Nate Watney, and Joseph Burnett. Tied for 6th with 1 over. Alex Smalley, James Hahn, Mark Hubbard, Dylan Fratelli, Zach Blair, Bayo Hostler, and Ricky Barnes. So, play suspended, probably due to weather. My pick to win this, I gave out Hideki Matsuyama. I think it was like 20-something to 1 as the Masters are next week. So, looking forward to the Masters. That is going to be so fun. And it's just unfortunate that the Valero Texas Open is suspended right now. But now we got to move on to the podcast. Major League Baseball power rankings. Preseason power rankings. Note to you guys, the power rankings don't necessarily reflect how I think the season is going to play out. There's a couple of instances where I had in my head of ties, but I gave the team an edge over the other because I picked them to win their division. So I'll know which ones are kind of tied in my power rankings. But I think it's going to be clear once I get to those spots. No particular theme of the power rankings. Just going to talk about some things as we go on. All right, so number 30 is the Oakland Athletics. They're atrocious. We know that. So they start the season at home against the Angels, and then after that, they host the Guardians, and then they go to Tampa to play the Rays. So a couple at home and then go to Tampa. 29 is the Washington Nationals. We know they are going to be a dumpster fire just like the A's. They start the season hosting the Braves. Then they host the Rays. Then they are at the Rockies for 4. Which is going to be something of an opportunity for the Rocks. Number 28, the Cincinnati Reds, another atrocity team. They start the season hosting the Pirates. So either the Pirates or the Reds are going to come out 3-0 or 2-1. So get ready for that. Then they host the Cubs for 3. Then they're at Philadelphia for 3. 27 is the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is one of the few ties I had because, like I said, I put some teams that are in the same division next to each other. And the tie break would be that I picked the Reds to finish last, not Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh starts at the Reds, and then they go to Boston to play the Red Sox for 3, and then their home opener is next Friday as they host the White Sox. Number 26 is the Kansas City Royals. They start the season hosting the Twins. And then they have a 4-game set against Toronto. And they're at the Giants. So the two teams that met in the 2014 World Series. That felt so long ago. Number 25 is the Detroit Tigers. One of the other tiebreakers I had was I took the Tigers over the Royals to avoid the cellar in that division. So that was another kind of tie in the power rankings. So they start the year at the Rays for 3. Then they're at the Astros, and then they start their first home series of the year will be home against the Red Sox. 24 is the Colorado Rockies. They start the season at San Diego for 4. And then they're at the Dodgers for 2. And then they host the Nats for 4. So that Nats series, they got to establish a little bit of a home field advantage if they want to surprise some people this year. 23 is the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm not considering one of these a tie because even though I have them next to each other on the power rankings, I think there's a gap between these two teams. They start the year, the D-backs, at the Dodgers for 4, which is going to be tough. Then they're at the Padres for 2, so potential of a slow start. And then they host the Dodgers for 4. So the D-backs could be in for a rocky start. Number 22 is the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs start the year hosting the Brewers. I think they played the Brewers opening weekend last year, too, if I'm not mistaken. And I feel like they won a few games. So they host the Brewers for 3. They're at the Reds for 3. Then they are home for the Rangers for 3. So they have they have an interesting first 3 series of the year. Number 21 is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They start the year at Oakland for 3. And then they're at the Mariners for 3. That's not going to be easy. And then a big test for them, their home opening series against the Blue Jays. Number 20, I have the Boston Red Sox. So the Boston Red Sox avoid the bottom 10. They start the year hosting the Orioles. I think the Orioles started in Fenway last year, too, if I'm not mistaken. So 3 against the Orioles, and then they host the Pirates, and then they're at the Tigers. So they have an easy schedule to start the season after that Orioles series. If they can get through that Orioles series 2-1, and then get through the 2 weak teams, they're going to be in potentially decent shape to start the season. 19 is the Miami Marlins. Miami starts the year. The big test is they host the Mets for 4. And then they host the Twins for 3. That's another test. And then they're at Citi Field against the Mets for 3. And I think that's the Mets home opening series. So a lot of Mets for Miami to start the year. That's not easy. Number 18 is the San Francisco Giants. They start the year at the Yankees. Not easy. That could be a sweep, or if they're lucky, they're going to be lucky if they come out of that with 2 wins, maybe even with 1 win. Then they're at the White Sox, a little easier, and then they host the Royals, which is an opportunity for them. Number 17 I have the Baltimore Orioles. They start the year at Fenway against the Red Sox for 3. Then they are at the Rangers for 3. And then they host the Yankees for 3 in their home opening series. So their schedule isn't that easy. A lot of good pitching and some good offenses. So that could spell a rough start potentially. 16 is the Minnesota Twins. The Twins, they're not bad. They're not bad. You could argue they belong in the top 15 rather than the bottom 15. But somebody good had to be in the bottom 15. Somebody good had to be there. And unfortunately, it's the Twins. And they start the season at the Royals for 3. And then they're at the Marlins for 3. And then they open their home opening series is against the Astros at home. So, after that Royal series, it gets kind of hard for them. 15 is the Chicago White Sox. This is also one of the few ties I had. With the tiebreaker being I picked the White Sox ahead of the Twins in the division. The White Sox have a very, very hard opening series at Houston for 4. They'll be lucky to win a few there. Then they are hosting the Giants for their home opening series. And then they're at the Pirates for 3. So their schedule gets a little bit easier after the Astros series. 14, I have the Texas Rangers. I love this Texas team and its ability to make a huge leap with Bruce Bochy. They start with a hard series as they host the Phillies for 3. And then they host the Orioles for 3. Then they're at the Cubs for 3. So there's a potential for a good start. No Bryce or Rhys Hoskins for Philly. Orioles could regress from last year, and then the Cubs are not very good. So there's a possibility the Rangers come out of that 6-3. Not inconceivable. Number 13 is the Philadelphia Phillies, ironically enough. Philly starts the year at Texas. That's not going to be easy with their new pitching staff, as they have 3 there. Then they're at the Yankees for 3, including the TBS game on Tuesday, April 4th. And then they have their home opening series against the Reds at home. So if they come out of that over 500, that'd be a win for them, I'd say. But they got to take advantage of the Reds, though. Number 12 is the Tampa Bay Rays. This is one of the few scenarios I have teams not making the postseason over a team making the postseason in the power rankings because of the divisions they play in being harder, with the 2 East divisions respectively over the AL West with the Rangers. So the Rays start at home against the Tigers for 3. Then they're at the Nats for 3, and then they host the A's for 3. This is the easiest schedule of anybody I've seen so far of the first 3 series of the year. Number 11 is the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm higher on the Brewers than most. They start the season at Wrigley against the Cubs for 3. Then they host the Mets for 3. That's going to be a test for them. And then they have their the home opening series is against the Mets. And the one after that, they host the Brewers or the Cardinals for 3. So a tough homestand coming up for Milwaukee to start the season after the Cubs series. Number 10, the Cleveland Guardians. So the Guardians cracking the top 10. I'm big on the Guardians this year, as you guys know. They have 4 games at Seattle, including a Saturday nighter on Fox Sports 1. And then they are at Oakland for 3. And then their home opening series is, ironically enough, against the Mariners. So a lot of the AL West in there, and then the Mariners series are going to be great, but hard. Got to take advantage of Oakland if you're Cleveland. Number 9 is the St. Louis Cardinals. They start the season at home against the Blue Jays for 3. That's not going to be easy. And then they host the Braves for 3. Oh, my God. And then they're at the Brewers. So there's potential for a rough start for the Cardinals. That's a hard 3 series. Number 8, I have the Seattle Mariners. So they start the year with 4 at home against the Guardians. Then they're hosting the Angels for 3. Then they're at the Guardians for 3. So that Guardians-Mariners series, ooh, baby, those are going to be great to start the season. And then they have the Angels in the middle. Maybe they see Ohtani. Number 7, the New York Yankees. They start the season with 3 at home against the Giants, and then 3 at home against the Phillies, including the TBS game on Tuesday night, and then 3 at Baltimore. So Starting at home, I think, is good for the Yanks. Getting the Phillies without Bryce Harper and Rhys Hoskins is a big deal. They are probably going to see Aaron Nola on Tuesday or Wednesday, which is going to be hard. They miss Zach Wheeler. Maybe they see both. They have a game on Fox against the Giants on Saturday, so that's pretty cool. So 2 natty games for the Yankees to start off the week, and then they have the feisty Orioles in the Orioles home opening series. Number 6, the Toronto Blue Jays. This is another tiebreaker incident where I had to choose the team I picked to win the division over the team I had in second. So they're essentially tied to me when it comes to power rankings. So they start the season at the Cardinals for 3. That's hard. And then 4 at Kansas City. And then they are at the Angels, so maybe they see Ohtani on the mound. Number 5, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers sneak in the top 5 over the Blue Jays. That was a hard call, too, who to put in the top 5 between, like, that Padres, Dodgers, Blue Jays, Yankees combo. So they start at home against the D-backs for 4. Then they're hosting the Rockies for 2. Then at the D-backs for 4. So a fast start could be in play for L.A. Number 4, I have the San Diego Padres. Not favored to win their division. Same with the Blue Jays. Neither of those teams are favored to win their division. But a lot of people are picking those 2 teams to win their divisions, especially San Diego. So the Padres host the Rockies for 4. Then they're hosting the D-backs for 2. Then they're at Atlanta for 4, including Sunday Night Baseball on the 9th. So that could be the NLCS preview right there. So that's a fabulous Sunday night game. Number 3, the New York Mets. They start the season at Miami for 4. Then they are at Milwaukee for 3. Then they host the Marlins for 3. So you have the Brewers sandwiched between the Marlins. Number 2, the Houston Astros. The Astros start the season with 4 at home against the White Sox. Then they host the Tigers for 3. Then they're at the Twins for 3. That Twins series, I think, be tricky for them. Carlos Correa revenge, potentially. And at number 1, the Atlanta Braves, your world champions from 2021, over the world champions from 2022 in the number 1 spot because of the loss of Justin Verlander and Altuve out to start the season. The Braves go over the Astros for number 1. And the Braves were also my pick to win the World Series this year, so that's also why they're number 1. All right, so they start the season at the Nats for 3. And then they're at the Cardinals for 3. And then they have their home opening series against the Padres. So they, after that Nats series, they have a couple of hard ones. And then they have that Sunday night game against the San Diego Padres. That's probably going to be the NLCS preview. So there you have it for my power rankings to start the season. All right, news and notes. We're going to try to rapid fire this. We'll start with baseball. There's a picture going around on Twitter right now that there's a Giants fan repping his captain on opening day against the Yankees, Arson Judge. That's funny. Arson Judge. Oh, that's going to be one for the memory books. Anthony Volpe, as we know, will start the season on the Yankees, and he will be wearing number 11. So he's wearing Brett Gardner's old number. The Yankees signed Frankie Cordero to a $1 million deal, who's going to be on the roster. So another MLB call-up moment. White Sox outfielder Oscar Colas made the opening day roster and immediately called his mother. Padres third base coach Matt Williams has cancer and will be with the team on opening day, then take a leave of absence. That's sad. Hopefully Matt Williams gets well soon. The minor league to have first ever CBAs, the Players Association and the league has agreed to a historic minor league CBA that will dramatically increase the pay for players. So that's very interesting news for baseball as well. We'll do basketball now. The Sacramento Kings officially clinch a playoff spot as the 16-year NBA playoff drought is over. So who now has the longest playoff drought in sports? Is it the Jets or the Sabres? It's either the Jets or the Sabres because the Mariners broke theirs this year, and so did now the Kings. So I think it's either the Jets or the Sabres. I just don't know who it is. The Sixers stars came back last night against the Mavs, so that's good. And then Jalen Brunson came back for the Knicks last night against the Heat with a sprained right hand, but Julius Randle sprained his ankle and did not play in the second half against the Heat. So that's why that Knick win over Miami, I think, was impressive that they did that without Julius Randle. Caitlin Clark wins the Women's Naismith Player of the Year, averaging 27.3 points per game, 8.6 assists. She deserves it. She was the best player in the women's sports this year, so good for her. USF hires Amir Abdur Rahim. So he was the former Kennesaw State coach. So South Florida finds its coach after it was reported that Mike Bray was going there. Kansas guard Marquise Noel declares for the NBA draft. I think his stock absolutely rose after the tournament. Some NFL stories. Odell Beckham has multiple offers as the Jets are still considered the favorite to sign him, but the Ravens have made a late push. That's interesting. But why would Odell go there if Lamar's not there? Maybe Lamar is working something out with them. Anthony Richardson met with teams of the Panthers and the Raiders ahead of his pro day. The Eagles to wear Kelly Green throwback jerseys with the matching helmets. Marvin Jones back to the Lions on a 1-year, $3 million deal as he played for Detroit from 2016 to 2020, so that's a cool story. And Darren Waller will wear number 12 for the Giants as Paris Campbell will wear number 0. As we talked about the number 0 thing yesterday on the show. And some hockey stuff. Paul Maurice rips team after he lost his mind on the bench, though the Leafs' second goal was called back. And then the Rangers extend Philip Hedl to a 4-year, about $18 million extension. Nice contract extension for a solid young player in Hedl for the Rangers. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I got to go with the baseball one because it's opening day. Best bet yesterday, I forgot what I chose for it. It was a loser. It was the, I took the under in Milwaukee, Indiana. That was a bad bet. Indiana's been killing me. I gotta go with the over in the Braves-Nats game. This is a bet against Patrick Corbin. So, I'm gonna lay a quarter unit on it. So over 7.5 between the Braves and the Nationals for my best bet of them, my first best bet of the 2023 Major League Baseball season. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping all the opening day results. Look ahead to baseball for the weekend, and we have the Final Four in each the men's and the women, so that's exciting as well. Have a good one, everyone.